The last entry in Ledger A was not a number, it was a name. John D. Rockefeller died in 1937. He was 97 years old. He had kept the notebook for 90 years. The same leather-bound book he bought for 10 cents as a boy. The same book where he recorded every turkey sold, every barrel shipped, every dollar given away. The last thing he wrote was not about money. It was about his mother. A small note. Quiet thank you. The final entry in a ledger that had recorded billions of dollars was a debt he could never repay. The notebook that started with a boy selling turkeys ended with an old man remembering his mother. The ledger did not change. The ledger showed him what mattered. It just took 90 years to read the last line. He had spent his whole life counting. In the end, he counted something that could not be added up. A mother who stayed when his father left. A mother who fed the turkeys with curds from the milk. A mother who kept order with a birch switch and never once told him he was not enough. The columns had no row for that kind of debt. He recorded it anyway. The boy who learned to count because people leave became the man who learned to record because some people stay. The same hand that wrote down every penny of profit wrote down the name of the woman who made profit possible. The same ledger that tracked every loss tracked the one gain that could never be measured. Most people never finish their ledger. They stop recording when the numbers get big. They stop counting when they have enough. They never write down the name that matters more than the number. They never close the book with the thing they should have opened it with. You have been carrying something. Not money. Not debt. A story. A story about who you are supposed to be. About what you deserve. About what people like you can become. Someone wrote that story. Maybe your father. Maybe your mother. Maybe a teacher who told you that you were not smart enough. Maybe a boss who told you that you did not belong. You have been carrying their words in your ledger. Every entry written in their hand. Every total calculated by their rules. Every balance telling you that you are not enough. Rockefeller's father told him to trust no one. Not even me. The boy wrote it down. But he did not let it be the final entry. He spent the rest of his life writing over it. Not by arguing with his father. By building something his father could never have imagined. By becoming the kind of man whose ledger ended with his mother's name, not his father's lesson. The story someone else wrote about you is the first draft. You are the only one who can write the final entry. This is the wound you have been carrying through every scroll. The belief that your inheritance is your fate. That the name you were given is the name you will die with. That the debts you did not create are yours to pay forever. They are not. You think the ledger is fixed. You think every entry your father wrote is carved in stone. You think the total at the bottom of the page is the verdict on your life. But the ledger is paper. Paper takes new ink. The hand holding the pen has changed. You just have not written the new entry yet. 90 years of entries. Billions of dollars recorded. Every loan. Every barrel. Every bid. The last line was a name. That is not a coincidence. That is the answer to a question he had been asking since he was 7 years old, standing in a field with a turkey and a leather notebook, trying to find the one thing in the world that did not lie. Rockefeller gave away most of his fortune. Not at the end. Throughout. He gave before he had enough. He gave after he had too much. He gave in every decade of his life. But here is what no one notices. He gave the same way he earned. Systematically. With terms. With conditions. With a ledger. He required matching gifts. If a university wanted his money, it had to raise its own first. In one case, he sat in a room with a university president and laid out the terms on paper, line by line, the same way he laid out a railroad contract. The president agreed. The university is still standing. He believed that giving without conditions dried up the natural springs of charity. That charity without strategy was just guilt with a checkbook. That the ledger was not a wall between him and the world. It was the tool that let him give without being destroyed by giving. He did not become generous by forgetting the numbers. He became generous by remembering them. Most people never learn this. They give randomly. They give guiltily. They give because they feel bad about what they have. And then they stop because no one told them that generosity without boundaries is just another form of bankruptcy. You have done this too. You have given until it emptied you. You have given until you resented the people you helped. You have given because you thought that was the price of being good. The ledger did not make him cold. The ledger made him free. Free to give without resentment. Free to record what mattered. Free to know exactly what remained. And what remained at the end was not a balance, was a name. His father taught him to trust no one. His mother taught him that some people stay. The notebook held both lessons for 90 years. When he finally closed it, he knew which one was worth recording last. You have been carrying your father's entries for long enough, not because they are true, because no one told you that you were allowed to write your own. The ledger does not belong to the person who started it. The ledger belongs to the hand that writes the final entry. You're writing it now. Every day you keep going is a new line. Every choice you make that your father would not have made is a new entry. Every name you write instead of a wound is proof that the story has changed. The final transaction is not what you accumulated. It is what you chose to record when the numbers stopped matching. The debts you forgave. The names you wrote down. The people you stayed for. That is what survives. Not the fortune. Not the fleet. Not the rebate or the refinery or the bid that ended everything. The name. Always the name. Think of the person who stayed. Not the one who left. You have spent enough time on that ledger. The one who stayed when they did not have to. The one who kept order when everything was chaos. The one whose name you have never written down because you did not think it counted as a transaction. Counted. Write the name. Not what they gave you. Not what you owe them. Just the name. One line. Let it sit next to all the numbers. That is what Rockefeller did at 97. Not because it changed anything. Because the ledger was not complete without it. Because some debts cannot be repaid, but they can be recorded. And recording them is the closest thing to repayment you will ever find. The ledger started in someone else's hand. It is in yours now. You have been writing in it longer than you know. Every choice that cost you something. Every name you kept. Every morning you showed up when the column was empty. The last entry is yours. Write a name, not a number. I write the name, not the number. I write the name, not the number. I write the name, not the number.